Hello Dragon Ballers, it's Dokkan Taro, and today we are going to discuss Farmable Super Attack. We're only going to discuss top tier hard-hitting units, and we're going to go in order of the days. It'll make sense in a second, don't worry about that. This was the most requested or the highest voted, however you want to call it, from last week's poll. So there will be a poll again at the end of this video. If you want a part 2, stay tuned to the end of the video, see if I've covered everything that you're concerned about, and I will leave that as an option as well as other people's requests, all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. Once again, we're not going to cover every single unit with a Farmable Super Attack. We'll brush up on some, but we'll just be talking about main units that really matter in the meta right now. Okay, so the Epic Showdown, it's available every single day. Every day you can do this. You can drop this R Goku, and now on JP, you can just plain Dokkan Awaken him to Super Saiyan Goku, but on Global, there's an extra step where you have to get this Goku Metal, and that will Dokkan Awaken him into an Angel Goku, which will then Dokkan Awaken into the Super Saiyan Goku. It's a pain in the butt. The Goku Metal can be found, wait, I have it right here, on stage in the quest. It's in quest on stage or area 11, stage 3, area 12, stage 8, area 13, stage 1. All of those drop the Goku Metal. I've heard mixed results about which one is the best. I've heard 12-8's the best. I've heard 13-1's the best. I don't honestly know which one's the best. All I know is that it doesn't always drop. It's a random chance that I don't know. But that's how to get the Goku Metal. Also, this Goku Metal, along with many others, can be used to Dokkan Awaken a farmable Android 13 that we're not going to discuss today because he's irrelevant. Okay, there's none of that. We can't be doing that. Anyway, so you use this Goku to Dokkan Awaken this, or to use this Goku Metal to Dokkan Awaken this Goku into Angel Goku, only on Global and JP. You don't have to do this. And then, oh yeah, by the way, the R Goku, the card, drops from the first stage of Epic Showdown. So that's where you get him on Z Hard. That's the best way to farm him. He drops a lot sometimes. Sometimes you get like 3 drops at once, so it's pretty easy to acquire these. He feeds into any base Goku, but he only Z awakens to SR, so it's a low chance, so I don't really recommend this method. Also, there's no Gokus I can think of. There's the 2 Spirit Bomb Gokus, but, you know, there's no real Gokus that matter enough that you would want to feed this guy in that can't be farmed themselves. Anyhow, so you've got this Angel Goku. He can Dokkan Awaken from these hoverboards that you get from the second stage in Epic Showdown on Z Hard, and that will Dokkan Awaken him into Super Saiyan Goku. On JP, you don't have to do this, but the Super Saiyan Goku is an SR, not an SSR. On Global, this SSR can Z Awaken into a UR, and that UR can feed into LR Goku. Any Super Saiyan Goku, Buff Ku, the Orb Changer Int Goku, all those Gokus, but the main one that we're focusing on today is LR Goku because that's the main one that I would recommend feeding Super Attack into. This takes a lot of medals awakening all of these units because you have to awaken each one individually. You can't just farm one up to SA10 and feed it in to get the unit that you're looking for at SA10. It doesn't work like that. So this takes a lot of medals, so I don't recommend newer players or people without a whole lot of medals to do this with their support units. Mostly do this for your hard hitters because it can take a lot of Zenny, a lot of medals. So that's why today we're only focusing on LR Goku. This is available every day. You can do this every single day. And that's been discussed enough now. So moving on to Mondays. Every Monday, we've got the Surpassing All event, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku event. You can use the medals from this to awaken the Super Saiyan Goku that we were just talking about into Super Saiyan Angel Goku. There's no units that aren't already farmable. There's the Int one from the PyCon, that whole event, but he's farmable too, so there's really no reason to do that. But you can awaken this guy into Angel Goku. We will discuss more what you can do with him later. Hold that thought. So moving on, we've got the Vegito event. Now, Vegito this one is only available on JP. Once we get the physical Vegito on Global, we'll be able to do this on Global as well. But on the first stage on Z Hard, you have a chance to drop this SR Vegito, and he can Z awaken to SSR and feed into any base Vegito at a 50% chance. So it's a roll of the die, all that kind of stuff. The main one being the one we have in Global, SSR STR Vegito that will eventually become LR Vegito Blue. You can feed these into him. So until we get LR Vegito Blue, I kind of recommend just holding on to your SSR Vegito. Don't feed KAIS into him. We could get this physical Vegito stage before LR Vegito Blue is actually fully released. So just hold on to that because he will have a farmable super attack too. This also works for the tech one, the int one, but once again, those are support units. So I don't recommend going way too deep because it's a lot of KAIS, or it's a lot of KAIS. It's a lot of metals. It's a lot of Zenny. So mostly do this for your hard-hitting units. I'll stop saying that. It's been said. Also on Mondays, we've got the strike event. All strike events work the same exact way. On the first stage, on Z hard is the best one to drop the character. In this one, we've got Ten Shinhan. So on the first stage, you can drop the SR version. He Dokkan awakens into an SSR, which can Z awaken into a UR, and that feeds into any Ten Shinhan card. The main one being LR Ten Shinhan. And I have to stress this, they have to be at SSR. The units that you're feeding into have to be in their SSR form. They can be Z awakened to UR, but they can't be TUR, they can't be LR, because that will decrease the rates at which this works. At UR, the Super Strike Ten Shinhan feeds for a 100% chance into LR Ten Shinhan, so you can at least get them to SA10. With LRs, pretty much you get them to SA10, the freeway, and then you can either win enough Ten Shinhans from the World Tournament. For him, you can do that for the Goku. You can farm him up, and you can feed another one up to Super Attack 10, and then feed those two together. That works out. But for other LRs that are summonable, you probably have to use KAIS for the rest of their Super Attack up to 20. But for this guy specifically, you might not have to do that. We've also got the PyCon event on Mondays. Same thing. You farm the unit from stage 1. You get the medals from stage 2. Z awaken the guy to UR, and he feeds for 100% into any PyCon unit. Not Super PyCon, but just PyCon. So the main one being the STR one. You can also do this with the tech one, but once again, he's more of a support unit. If you do get him to SA10 and you have his bottom right path opened, you can give him extra combo attacks, which can help him greatly lower attack more. So if you're using that strategy, that is something to consider. Moving on to Tuesday, we've got the Merge Zamos event, which on the first stage on Z Hard drops an already Z awakened Zamos. You're seeing the SR version, but he's already Z awakened SSR. He feeds into the regular Merge Zamos from the Dokkan Fest at a 50% rate. So the drop rate isn't the best on this guy, and it's a 50% chance. So this is a pretty bad grind. It's not the worst grind in the world though. But yeah, 50% chance feeds right in. Bada bing, bada boom, save your KAIS. Also on Tuesdays, we've got, because Tuesday is Tech Day, in case you guys haven't figured out the way it works, it's Monday AGL, Tuesday Tech, Int, Strength, Physical. Anyway, so Angel Goku, that event will, the medals from that will Dokkan awaken the SSR Goku that we were discussing earlier, for all the way back from the R Goku into a TUR Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, and that one feeds 100% into Angel Goku. So this is possibly the worst grind. I think Android 13 is actually the worst grind, and that one's not even worth it. But this is possibly the worst grind on this list that we're doing today. I didn't even complete this. I did like 6 of them, or I did 5 of them. I did it up to 6, and then I fed 4 KAIS into my Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I don't recommend doing that, but I just couldn't take it anymore. And if you're in the same situation, I respect that, because, I mean, it happened to me too. Strike event. We've got Piccolo, the Piccolo strike. Same thing. Farm the unit from stage 1. Farm the medal from stage 2. Get that guy Z awakened to UR, and he feeds for 100% into LR Piccolo. Any Piccolo at all. Any Piccolo. There's no Piccolo I can think of that has a different name than just Piccolo, but he can feed in at 100% to any SSR Piccolo. So LR Piccolo being the main one, yeah, you get a lot from the World Tournament, all that kind of stuff, and now in JP you can summon him, all that jazz, but you can feed his super attack in like that. Good times. Also, for strike events, we have Mighty Mask. Mighty Mask is the same exact thing. You farm the guy, you farm the metals, you get him to UR status, and then he feeds into LR Trunks and Goten, or in their SSR form, Mighty Mask. At a 100%, this is all 100% for all of these Super Strikes once they're at UR. A UR feeding into an SSR or a Z Awakened SSR that's a UR is a 100% chance. So very, very nice there. Moving on to Wednesday, we've got the Int event.
What about the Cell event? You didn't mention the Cell event for Perfect Cell. Doesn't
get out of here, Taro? Nobody likes you. This is why you're the bass player. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to control that guy. He pops in here and there. It is what it is. But that actually is a good point. So the Cell event, which is available on Tuesdays, that cell that drops from the first stage is actually not it can't feed into Strength Perfect Cell or Tech Perfect Cell because they have different names. One's called Perfect Cell, one's called Cell in parentheses Perfect Form. Units like that won't feed into each other. Like a Super Saiyan Angel Goku won't feed into a Super Saiyan Goku. So keep those things in mind at all times. They have to have the same exact name, character name. They all have different card names, you know, like a Day of Destiny Gohan is LR Gohan in his SSR form, but his name is Gohan Youth. Any Gohan Youth will feed into him. So that's actually not a bad. I shouldn't have given that guy such a hard time, but you know what? He's a jerk anyway, so forget about it. Anyway, so we've got Buhan on Wednesdays because Wednesday's Int Day. On his first stage on Z Hard, you can farm up this already Z Awakened Strength Buhan. He feeds into the regular Buhan at a 50% chance. His drop rate seems worse than anyone else. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I've also heard this from other people. The drop rate is terrible on this guy, but you can feed that into Buhan and get his SA to 10. I highly recommend doing this if you want an SA 10 Buhan, because Buhan is not worth the KAIS. He is not aged well in the meta at all. There's no Super Strikes to report, so let's just go ahead and move on to Thursday. So on Thursday, it's Strength Day. We've got this Broly stage, which is also available on Fridays because it's a physical and a strength stage. So that will be available 2 days in a row, actually 3 days in a row. We'll discuss that here in a second. But you can farm an SR Broly from the first stage on Z Hard is the best way to do it. And you can Z Awaken him to SSR and feed him into LR Broly for a 50% chance. That's the only base Broly I'm aware of. But yeah, so that works. Also, this is the same Broly that Dokkan awakens into Super Saiyan 3 Broly, so you can feed him into Super Saiyan 3 Broly as well. That's a hell of a grind, but you know, like it's worth it because it saves you KAIS. Not as bad as the Angel Goku grind, so there is that. But you do need the Super Saiyan 3 Broly event medals, which I didn't mention earlier, and now I'm gonna have to shoehorn that in. I try to prepare, and this still happens. People tell me all the time, write a script, write a script. I've got one, it's right here. But it happens, okay. Anyway, SS3 Broly is so forgettable that I literally forgot him. All right, so, jeez. Anyway, so also as far as strike events go, we've got Trunks, SSR form on first stage, the medals on the second stage. Get him Z Awakened to UR. He feeds for 100% into LR Trunks in his SSR form. That's very nice indeed. Let's go ahead and move on because there's no strength events that are really, or no strength strike events besides that are really worth noting. We also have Friday. Friday is Goku Black Day. Goku Black drops an already Z Awakened SSR version of this Tech Goku Black, and he feeds for 50% into both LR Black and regular physical Black. So that's very nice to have, especially when you have summonable LRs that you can, you know, farm their super attack. That's very nice. Of course, it is a coin flip because it's a 50% chance, but I still highly recommend doing it this way, especially because when they already come Z Awakened. That's really nice because you save on KAIS significantly. So that's definitely a good thing to have. This is the same thing for the Zamas, for the Buhan. If it already drops in that form, in that SSR form. You don't need to waste metals on that, so that's very nice. You do still use Zenny in training, but not a lot. Anyway, let's move on to the weekend. So this is a little bit weird the way it works. In Global and JP, they have these events swapped. Punch in the mic, there you go, Epic Mewtwo shout out. So, also, on Saturdays on both games, on Saturdays, all the Dokkan events that are villain-centric, all the villain Dokkan events, extreme types, are available on Saturdays, and then on Sundays, all the super type Dokkan events are available. And the way it works in JP is LR Goku is available on Sundays with all the other heroes, and Frieza is available with all the villains on Saturday. But on Global, it's Saturday that you've got LR Goku. So LR Goku on the 4th stage will occasionally drop, it'll drop medals sometimes, other times it'll drop the actual card itself, which of course feeds into LR Goku because it's the same exact card. This is also good for dupes, blah, 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 all that good stuff. We all know about that. Any Super Saiyan Goku can be farmed this way, by the way, and it's while you're farming up LR Goku, if you have extra of these guys, you can feed them into any Super Saiyan Goku that you want. It has to be called Super Saiyan Goku, though. Keep that in mind at all times. And then on Sundays for Global and Saturdays for JP, you've got the Frieza event, which drops on the 4th stage, which is only available on JP at the moment. It drops the, SSR Frieza. He farms into himself, of course. There's no other first form Frieza I can think of that's worth farming super attack, but, it is what it is. So that's something that you can do. Also, for both of these, LR Goku and Frieza, you can farm the SSR on the 1st stage, but the drop rate is the worst I've ever seen for both of those. So if you're a global player and you want to farm up LR Frieza, I highly recommend waiting for that 4th stage to be released and farming him then. If you're just kind of casually farming him now, sure, why not? It's not hurting anything, but the 4th stage is really where it's at. I did leave off several units. Many units that I left off because they're not optimal or they're not super viable. The main one being Golden Frieza. He has a farmable super attack, but he doesn't fit on any team really, and I had to leave off a lot of units. I did not want this video to be 20 minutes long. So if you do want a part 2, we can also discuss semi-farmable super attack, as in units like Janemba, who you can pull for very common SRs that Dokkan awaken into units that can feed in. We can discuss other units that are not as optimal, or not as viable. We can discuss how to farm their super attack. If you want a part 2, we can get into all that stuff. Let me know in the poll that's popping up right there. There's also other suggestions from some of you. And if you don't like any of those, hit that button that says that you don't like any of those and leave your suggestion. There we go. Leave your suggestion down in the comment section below, and also check the comments. See if somebody else left something that maybe you want to see, and make sure to like that person's comment if you like their suggestion. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for voting on all of these things. This one was a landslide, but these votes are fun. I like doing these polls. We should do this more often, you and me. That's enough of that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.